Cancer, nature and extent. Cancer, what is it? It is the abnormal growth of cells which causes disruptions to the body's normal functions. Okay, so you get tumors that grow, and as those tumors grow, the body detects that there's a problem there. It sends white blood cells to try and attack it and address it, but that doesn't really work very well because cancer tumors are very aggressive. And during that time, you end up getting sick in other parts of your body because your white blood cells are all busy, or that tumor can actually grow in a place where there's no space for it, such as your brain or in your heart or in your lungs and stuff, and therefore it limits the function of those organs, and therefore bad things happen. Furthermore, cancer can travel to other sites of the body, which is called metastasis, making it hard to eliminate, all right? And this is the big reason why skin cancer is such a big, or one of the biggest cause of cancer deaths in Australia. You get a skin cancer on your skin, it's not, most of the time it's just there, and hopefully it is just there and you can just cut it out and get on with your life, all right? Which is, I get like a yearly skin checkup because I spend a lot of time in the sun. And I shouldn't, and I know it's bad, but nowadays I am much more conscious since having kids. I'm lathering up sunscreen and everything, and I still get skin checks, and touch wood, I've never had a problem so far, wood. However, if a skin cancer then goes into your bloodstream, and then that bloodstream can send it somewhere else, like into your foot or your heart or your lungs or anywhere else in your body, and that can be undetected and continue to grow until it's too late. Extent of cancers. All cancers combined cause more deaths than CVD. Okay, so think about that for a minute. So CVD, cardiovascular disease, is the number one cause of mortality, single cause of mortality. But when you add up all the cancer types, okay, so skin, breast, lung, prostate, colorectal, blah, 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 all of that is actually greater than CVD. So cancer as an umbrella figure is our number one killer in Australia, right? Actually worldwide. The cancer deaths are on the decline, okay, which is good, but incidence for cancers is stable or rising, and that's simply just due to better detection methods, okay? It's not because more people are getting cancers, it's simply because we have better ways of detecting cancers, therefore we know that we have cancers earlier. So the incidence goes up, the morbidity may go up, but we're able to either eliminate the cancer through chemotherapy or surgery, etc., so the mortality rates are going down. Lung and colorectal cancers are the top causes of mortality for overall, whereas breast and prostate are the top causes of morbidity, okay? The reason is that breast and prostate cancers are much easier to detect and remove, okay? So you can do self-screenings for breast. I'm not sure about self-screening for prostate, but I know that men are meant to be getting checks after the age of 50 for prostate, and they should be doing that yearly. And they are, because they are in areas that are easy to access, they're easy to eliminate, and therefore you can only just get on with your life, okay, which is good. Hence its lower mortality rates, okay? But it does have a high incidence rate. So lots of people have it, but it's easy to get rid of. Protective factors and risk factors for cancers. Protective factors, maintaining a healthy weight. So rewind a little bit. This is the reason why there's no cure for cancer. There's no cure for cancer because there's no hard and fast thing that we know leads to cancer. We know a lot of things contribute to cancer, but we can't say for certain that it's this thing that causes cancer. Like, for example, there are some people that get skin cancer that literally don't live in high UV areas, okay, and they don't expose their skin to the sun. There are some people that get lung cancer who have never smoked and never worked with chemicals and never lived power plants. They just get cancer in the lungs, but because it's cancer in the lungs, it's lung cancer. So, but we know that there are things that obviously exacerbate it. So for example, if you smoke, you are like X amount times much more likely to get lung cancer than somebody who doesn't smoke. So back to it. Protective factors, maintaining a healthy weight, eating a balanced diet, which is high in fruits and vegetables, and fiber, which is preventative for colorectal cancer. Exercising regularly, not smoking or vaping or taking other inhaled substances into your lungs, because your lungs not meant to filter that stuff, it's just meant to take in oxygen and get rid of CO2. Not consuming alcohol, being sun safe, getting regular checkups and screenings, especially if you're over the age of 40, all right? Risk factors, not getting regular checkups, okay? It's a big thing. So like, you know, I mentioned before about skin checks. I've been getting skin checks now for about 10 years and I will continue to do so pretty much for the rest of my life because it's so easy. Like you just take your clothes off, you lay down on the bed and the chick just goes over your body with a magnifying glass and you know, you're done in like 5 minutes. Where is that to? Not getting checked. Smoking, drinking, poor diet, okay? So obviously if you smoke, you're more likely to get lung cancer. Drinking and poor diet will lead to colorectal cancer and potentially breast cancer because there's a link between being overweight and obesity and breast cancer in females. So in other words, you have more fatty tissue in your breasts, there is more space and more cells and therefore more chance that breast cancer will develop. Working with chemicals without PPE, personal protective equipment, so there are people that work in jobs with chemicals and they should always need to be suited up. UV exposure without adequate protection for skin cancers. Now, determinants, socioeconomic. Education around the importance of regular checkups from an early age, so not just leaving it until you're 40 plus, and education around protective risk factors is extremely important for preventing cancer or at least detecting it early. Employment in outside jobs poses a risk for sun damage, so think about council workers, gardeners, landscapers, sports players to a degree, okay? They're all at a higher risk of getting sun cancers. Many high-stakes white-collar workers will smoke as a stress reliever, and this is actually especially for women. So we know that in the last 50 years, there's been this huge surge of women in the workforce, which is great, okay? But a lot of the time, that is showing statistically that now a lot more women are smoking, as opposed to when they didn't have these high-stress jobs in the cities and all that kind of stuff. Socioculturally, modelled behaviours at home, such as sunbaking, smoking, etc., can be seen as normal and therefore done by the children and then the next generation, etc., so you're repeating cycles. Poor diets provided in the home, low in fibre, fruits and vegetables, can increase the risk of colorectal, and the media plays a role in promoting self-checking or getting a GP checkup / screening for cancers, such as skin, breast, lung, prostate. I'm hoping all the girls have at least seen an advertisement or something promoting self-checking for breast cancer. I'm assuming that pops up on social media and stuff. Everyone should have seen an ad for skin cancer or at least getting checked. It's especially important in Australia and the Newcastle area because a lot of people spend their time at the beach, etc., etc. Environmentally, individuals who live rurally and remotely and have lack of access to health services and regular checkups may develop cancers and not be detected until it's too late. So once again, regular GP checkups, going to see them before you're experiencing symptoms. Living in locations closer to the equator, so up north, increases the strength of the UV radiation because that part of the earth is just literally closer to the sun, and therefore UV is much more intense, and therefore people that live close to the equator have much higher incidence of skin cancers, okay? Especially, and this will lead into the groups really nicely, especially Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples who live in North Australia and in the Torres Strait. Groups, women in high stress employment for lung cancers, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples living close to the equator / Northern Australia, smokers, SEDS, people with family history of cancer, more likely to develop cancers, women who have not given birth, more likely to develop breast cancers. And cervical cancers, actually. Right, that was cancer in a nutshell. Blip.